Yeah.
Hi,
That's
everyone.
why I was going to say that's what dads are for. Or like the other parent, if there is another parent, that's just you swap the tasks you don't like. Share.
Yeah, it's really, if I think about it, it's kind of one of the only things I don't like. We're just talking
Yeah.
about how
Allie
I
hates
don't
pools. Allie hates
I'm-
fun. Pool parties.
I
No.
don't like to be in a public pool of any sort.
Which is
Private
so
pool,
valid.
someone's house, thumbs up. Lake, awesome. Ocean, great.
But wait a second. The difference between a private pool and when you were saying you feel like
Like private pool, like a
caged in.
personal
Yeah,
pool.
but like a personal pool is less, I guess it's a little more out in nature sometimes, suburban or
It's more
neighborhoody.
where
It feels less contained to you, a
Well,
personal
it's
pool.
more like it's cozy, it's my family or my friends, it's just
Mm-hmm.
it's an extension of being like in the home with them versus a public pool. Now I have to contend with other people's children and
Things.
behaviors and boogers and
Band-Aids.
band-aids, and I don't want to be part of any of that.
What
I
about an
just
apartment pool? Is that public to you?
Yep.
That's bad. That's just as bad as like a
Mm-hmm.
something else. Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Lake, love, ocean, great.
Allie's from Michigan. I'm from Minnesota. And Allie still is in Chicago. And I was in Chicago for a million years. And so we were like, yeah, lake is number one body
For
of
sure.
water.
Absolutely. It's
a celestial body, if
I
you
do
will.
like this. Like we were just talking. I said, I'm in a public pool. I'm just trapped in a cement prison with the general public.
Yeah.
Where at least if I'm in a lake or ocean, I'm like looking at the vast beauty of our natural world, and I'm contemplating life, and I'm watching a crab find a new shell on the beach, and I'm seeing seagulls flutter and steal a French fry. Like it's just a much more
You can't.
enjoyable
I don't even
experience.
I don't think that's apples to apples. A ocean front and a public pool, but
yeah, I would take the worst lake over I'd take a
smelly,
rocky,
fishy,
like
slimy
a
lake
fishy,
with tons of
slimy
seaweed.
lake.
Would you get in?
Maybe, yeah.
You're like algae versus floating Band-Aid.
Yeah, I honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Whew.
Well, this episode has nothing to do with pools and lakes, but we should think about that. What can we do? What product could
we could parlay this panic and this fear into a brand. We shall see.
Yes.
Let me actually update some of these other platforms. Got so caught up in this.
Get us
lake
cranking.
Chat.
Well, I will welcome everybody. You're watching Can They Brand That? And that's the first show to create real branding for fake brands in real time. And we're your hosts. I'm Lyndsay Sanders. That's Allie LeFevere. And we are the co-founders of Semiserious Agency, the world's first humor marketing agency. Humor branding. We do both, but more branding. Our whole thing is building brands from scratch and using humor as the key strategy and differentiator to help startups and I guess anybody, really, any major brand. We've worked with household brands and startup brands, but really anybody starting from the ground up trying to build a distinct brand that people will flock to.
Yeah, I mean, especially lately, we've had a lot of fun building brands from scratch. I mean, that's been probably the basis of the last like 7 or 8 projects we've done. I guess peppered in there, we've done some rebranding and some work with like established brands doing some fun like campaigns and stuff. But it really is like building something from scratch when we can have like full creative control, assess the landscape, find the gap, create something that feels truly fresh and exciting. Is rad. I think that's the thing that we are like the most stoked about. Versus coming in and trying to put lipstick on a pig. Sometimes we are, we give them the beauty treatment and the pig looks gorgeous. And other times, you're kind of working within confines that are less desirable. So
working from a pig pen.
Pen. You're stuck in the pig pen.
You're stuck in a public pool.
Basically like a public, basically the public pool treatment. Oh, grotesque.
But last week, let's do a quick little recap. Last week's fake product was bread ends / bread butts / skudkas. Is that what you grew up calling them, Allie?
Skudkas, bread heels.
Heels.
Exactly.
Heels is the big one, but we liked bread butts for fun. But basically, an entire bag or loaf of only the end pieces, and we had a lot of fun coming up with brand names for that and taglines. And we really went off on a tangent on party subs, which Feels pool and beach adjacent.
It does. That's got to come up this summer. We have to do a branding exercise on branding the party sub.
I just saw something. I went to look on our Instagram to watch us be live and make sure everything was good. And something came up about porch geese. Our buddy Marco has several, and he dresses them.
Got a whole porch flock.
But it says porch geese are back. Here's what vintage insiders think of the kitschy trend. They don't really need our treatment because they're already so wonderful, but I feel like porch geese would be a very fun
We should do that. For his birthday, I bought him like 4 outfits for his porch goose. And then he got like a branding deal, and I was like, oh, now you got a whole closet full of gorgeous accoutrements and accessories and outfits, and my measly Frankenstein outfit for Halloween is just toss it out the window.
Nothing. I love that kind of fun, like front porch decor that is really just lets the neighborhood know who you are.
Yeah. Growing up, there was a house out there. So we always joke. So I grew up in a town called Fraser, Michigan. It's 2 square miles, but there's this street that cuts through part of it, and it's called Fruhoff. And for some reason, the joke growing up was that it's the longest street in the world. And it's really not. It's probably only a half mile, but for some reason, when you're going down Fruhoff, it feels like it never ends. It kind of winds and twists. It's just very suburban. But on Fruhoff was this house that had a shaggy dog like statue. It was probably 4 feet high, big, massive, like fully cement, solid. And they used to have it chained up because I'm sure every high school kid in the neighborhood tried to steal it at one point, probably including us. But and they used to decorate. They had different hats and glasses and outfits. It was like their own version of a porch goose.
Yeah,
but one of one. Dog. I've never seen a porch shaggy dog before.
That's true. Same.
Wait, can I tell you another really silly story before we get into the brainstorm?
Of course. Is this about Chumley?
No, Chumley. No, R.I.P. Speaking of porch goose, speaking of cement shaggy dog.
Yeah.
Lyndsay, I'm pretty sure I've told you the story before about the time in I think we were in college. No, we were in high school. We were really good kids, but we used to steal lawn ornaments sometimes off people's lawns. Like sometimes people would have like lawn gnomes or like little what are those little windmill things, or like I don't know. We thought it was so funny to steal lawn ornaments. Now as an adult with a home, I am mortified by my own behavior. I think it's horrible and disgusting, and I do not recommend it. But at the time, we thought it was hilarious as 16-year-olds being, causing mischief in our boring town. But anyway, so in high school, we stole a deer off someone's lawn. It was a cement deer. It was part of a big deer family. They had a big setup of like
cement.
Mother
How'd
deer.
You even carry it? If it was
like kind of, it was about this big. So there was there was a doe, a stag, and like 2 or 3 babies. So we stole this deer, and it sat in the back of my car, like in the behind the back seat in like the windshield. It was really heavy and cement. One time I jerked to a halt at a stop sign. It bashed my friend in the head. It was deadly. I don't even know why I had it in there, but I had it in there for years. And then at one point it ended up in our backyard growing up. So we probably had, it was like 4 years I had this cement deer. And then one time in college, we decided to bring it back, but wrote a note. And we attached it to the deer, and the whole premise of the note was that the deer had gone off to find itself, and it was like feeling lost in life, and it needed to like spread its wings. And so we wrote this like really long, hilarious note, and we taped it to the deer, and then we put it back in the lawn in the same spot. And I always wonder what it must have been like for that homeowner to see that deer back like a half a decade later. And like, I just would have loved to be able to capture that reaction on camera, because it was like the stupidest thing. We're just bored. It was like a Tuesday night. We're like, should we bring the deer back? It just was like nonsensical.
That feeling of being like, wait, was that always here? Did that come back? Did that just like, you know what I mean? Am I crazy? Is this lawn deer back? Allie, you're like, we were good kids. We just were committing petty misdemeanors.
Petty crimes, bad behavior,
It's okay.
Oh.
It's okay. I'm sure if they're watching, they forgive you.
I hope so. I mean, they got their deer back at the end of the day. So, we rented the deer.
All is well. I was like, I keep trying to think of like Rent the Runway. You get it.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Hello.
So,
So we are
hey,
not branding lawn ornaments, although we should. Actually, that would be a really funny episode. Like to brand the
like
lawn
going
gnome
beyond
or
the
the
goose.
goose. I don't know. Like, do we do just
Yeah.
the goose or do we kind of branch out and do kind of a whole line of lawn ornaments? I don't know. I'm like, I
Hey,
feel
we
like an
did party
expert.
mulch. We're
Yeah.
making these front
Why
lawns
not?
really fun. I think we should get into what today's episode is about, which you've already maybe seen if you're watching. I guess it would show up anywhere you're watching. We
Yeah.
are going to attempt to give vinegar, as in like cooking vinegar, red wine vinegar, balsamic vinegar, rice vinegar, the vinegar family, the Graza oil treatment, Graza olive oil, which if you are not familiar, I'm sure you've seen it everywhere. Graza olive oil sort of not rebranded, but did what I think is called premiumization, taking a like sort of household staple and creating a luxury brand, a standalone luxury brand out of it. And they did change, you know, the bottle that it comes in. It's in a squeezing plastic bottle, which olive oil experts insist is not the best way to keep olive oil. But anyway, it like sort of it's had a huge moment, and we were like, what if no one's done that for vinegar? Like, could we create a like? I keep thinking it should be called like the bougiefication, or you know, like, because I'm like, this is getting, or like the yassification of a staple item, because you're taking
exactly
this thing that people already buy. And aside from, you know, you buy premium olive oils or premium vinegars, or premium spices in like shops and sundry shops, but you don't like really know them by name. You know, if the price point is high enough, or if the store shop person has been like, this is the best, or if you know, oh, that's straight from the region it's produced. Like, you can tell, you can buy that quality stuff, but you don't have any, I don't think, brand loyalty to it from a larger brand narrative story. It's not like, oh, my family is a blah, blah, blah. I couldn't tell you what vinegar. I buy different vinegar every time based on what's on sale, what's nicest, yada, yada, yada. So we're like, how could we create a vinegar brand people know by name and are enthusiastic about?
Yeah, it's basically taking it and making it modern and cool. You know, they makes it feels like you said, the yassification. It is. It's like making it a little bougie. It now has a very notable brand. Yeah, especially vinegar. I feel like olive oil, like we always bought the exact same olive oil growing up. It was, I think, called Barrio. It's in the gold rectangular tin. And it's a weird debate. I'm going to ask you this question. Where do you keep your olive oil? I know we're not talking olive oil, we're talking vinegar, but do you have a space you keep it? Do you keep it in the cupboard just like a normal person?
With the spices, yeah.
Yeah. My family keeps it under the sink with the cleaning products. I don't know why. Everyone in the family does it. I don't know if it's an Italian thing. I got into a heated debate with my aunt when we were moving my cousin into his place, and she put the olive oil by the cleaning products. I said, that's disgusting. Like, why are we still doing that? We're going to put it by the like Clorox bleach, put it with the rest of the stuff in the cabinet. And she like lost her mind on me. It was like, I mean, truly heresy that I was even suggesting we move it up to a reasonable shelf. Anyway, so
that's funny.
So anywho, but yeah, so I would say olive oil, I have like had a little bit more familiarity with a brand, but vinegar, I just buy, I kind of just look at whatever's, you know, decent quality and decent price. And
so, there's nothing that like is sticking with you that you would like buy merch or like, which is sort of the trend now of like, do you feel a part of this brand story? Yeah, it's sort of I think a lot of it is also posturing, and something that Graza did that I think we two things I think we're going to attempt to do with vinegar as part of this modernization rebrand would be maybe play with the container, switch up what it typically comes in and what that looks like, because a huge element for them with the really appealing brand identity is people are keeping it out. I mean, some people keep their olive oil out, but usually you'd put it in another container with like a glug top, but they're keeping the actual like squeezy thing out with the Graza branding. So like, I think we're gonna, you know,
see what we can do there. I'm excited. I'm excited to get into this one. We've talked about this for a long time about, do we take something and give it like the Graza treatment is what we always call it. So
which is sort of what we did with the WD-40 competitor.
Exactly.
Which is also a slippery product. In the comments, Scott is saying that a splash of balsamic in lemonade is heaven. Oh, I could get down with that.
I imagine that's fantastic. You know what else is really good is you take you do vanilla ice cream, cacao nibs, strawberry, and then you do a drizzle of balsamic vinegar, and that's like unbelievable.
I love that, like that acid. Okay, well, do you want to cue up the song and we can, I guess you get the song ready, and I'm going to remind everybody that we're moderating comments mostly via YouTube. I think LinkedIn ones pour in, but if you're on Instagram, come over to YouTube if you want to play along and try to outwit us and chime in. And like and subscribe on our channel. We would love for you to not miss a single episode. Tell your friends. It's at Semiserious Agency, and that is the same. We're the same on every social media platform. And then our website is semiseriousagency.com, where you can see our real client work and how we apply this to long-term clients.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so should we hit the timer, set the timer, and answer the question on everyone's mind? Can they brand that?
Just because they can doesn't mean they should. Can they brand that? Can they brand that?
Okay.
All right. Got anything?
Okay.
Anything cooking up in there?
Well, do we want to talk about I have one idea for a brand name potentially. But do we want to talk packaging, or do we want to just kind of get right into
I don't care. I think just do whatever is coming up and we'll get wherever we get.
Follow the flow.
Follow the fun.
Okay, so this is like the most maybe obvious brand name we could do, but I thought Vinny is just a really funny name. I knew that floated through your head. I knew.
Yeah, of course.
I was like, it's funny because it's almost like a top line idea, but there is something funny about the name Vinny.
Yeah.
I have a cousin Vinny, and I find the name maybe because of my cousin Vinny that name is always like maybe chuckle a little bit. But I think Vinny feels like it could be in the kind of world of Graza for some reason. And it feels like it could be one of those like premium modern rebrands. So and so I really don't have any thoughts beyond the name, but I'm like, we could explore like what could that look like? Is Vinny become kind of a funny, weird, abstract character? I don't think it should be like a guy's face on it. I think that would look really cheesy. I don't want it to feel like Jersey Shore or anything. I think it like you'd want to make it feel more elevated and kind of funky or more abstract. Give it, because I also think Fishwife falls into this category too.
100%. Good
They
call.
took a thing and then zhuzhed it up. They obviously they have they give it different flavor profiles to tin fish, but I think there's something Vinny could be kind of a fun one to screw around with.
People are doing this. I sent you this. There's a duo that is doing this with pickles, and now I'm trying to remember what their brand name was. But like, you're just taking this existing item, maybe upping the ante on quality a little bit or the container, and mostly just selling it based off of vibes branding. Yeah, I would picture that when I thought of Vinny, I didn't think of like my cousin Vinny or like a Italian guy's name. I thought like it'd be like it's just a cutesy shortening of vinegar. So like we play it in that way. Like maybe it's all lowercase and it's like just like, I don't know, like just something that is like really, really trendy colors and font. Like we just play into like the now of it for the initial launch, I would think, and just like appeal to what is trending in design and go with God.
So I picture it spelled not like VINI, not like a true like shortening of the name Vinegar, like true like the actual name, like VINNIE is kind of.
Oh, I was thinking with a Y to differentiate it from the name VINNY, like just like
either one. Yeah, IEY. I think Y is great. I think IE is just how my cousin spells it, so maybe that's why I thought that. But yeah, and I think it should be like simplified packaging. A lot of times, like you find olive oils and vinegars are very like ornate. They have kind of like this old world style, want to show like the quality of the orchard. Like they kind of have that look. So I think
very you go like Tuscan.
Very Tuscan. I think you go like bold colors. I don't think you have to go in like the poppy palette, like that look.
No, I was thinking like pastels for some reason.
Me too. Like lavenders, baby blues, like that could be really cool. You could do either like big, bold, blocky, chunky, funky, hand-drawn font, or you could go like really hand-drawn, sketched, and maybe Vinny's kind of like a sketched character, but like very simplified. Or maybe there's no character. You could do it that way too.
Yeah.
But I think like, I could see like pastels. I think you really break form and move kind of in that direction, which is pretty fun.
Yeah. I did have another, like, I was looking up what Graza meant and like why they called it that. And that it's a shortening of like a region that makes olive oil. And the founder had traveled there. So it's like a long Italian name and they borrowed from the front. And so I was looking up, and this, it's tricky sometimes naming the brand. We run into this sort of sticking point with clients a lot of wanting the impulse to name the entire brand off of the initial launched offering.
Yeah.
So like, let's say we were launching with just balsamic vinegar. You could go like, it's from a region that has the name Amelia in it, which I'm like, that'd be really cute. Like I like
Amelia's
it being feminine, like
too.
Amelia would be really great. But then, and I think it's fine in this case to then back it, then you launch red wine vinegar and then maybe like rice vinegar and yada, 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 while keeping it Amelia. Cause you're like, that was just the like impetus. But that's not that funny, but it's very modern.
That feels kind of cool and cutesy. Amelia is also a very trendy kid's name right now too. So I feel like it plays into that.
Yeah.
You'd probably have a lot of moms who are probably the ones shopping who have kids named Amelia or nieces or playmates, whatever, that are snatching that off the shelf. So that could be an interesting play. You could give it the the custom Coke treatment. So every type of red wine, balsamic has like a different like kid's name. Find your okay, I have two more ideas. So I was just looking up like again the origin of vinegar. Okay, the first one I have is that this isn't perfect, but when you start to spell vinegar backwards, the first word is rage.
Oh, interesting.
But then it goes like rage niv, which is like the niv part doesn't do anything for me. I was like, is rage funny? But I don't know if it like fits into that premium vibe. But like rage could very much be like, you could give it the heavy metal treatment. I mean, if you really want to go like
like, in a totally different,
different
because
direction.
acid has a strong flavor profile, which,
acid
I was thinking we should call it acid. That's what I had just written down. And that feels like you're like, it's acid. That's pretty intense, but it's funny.
Rage, acid. That's funny. Yeah. Cause I was looking at that too, like acid. Then you to me, you would do like an acid rock type of style.
Totally.
Which would be kind of rad.
Or just like really, really stripped back. Cause like what is Graza's even like identity? It's just like, it's just the color. Yeah.
It's the green, yellow, the squeeze bottle. And then it's got like that.
But they've got wonky little characters.
Yeah. You know what is another, the name, I don't know if this is good actually. I was going to say that vinegar, the word vinegar comes from the French word. It's like vinegar. I don't know how you say it, but sour wine. I mean, sour wine. So I was like, is there anything there? But I don't really like the idea of bringing wine into it as a name.
I know. And then you're like, sour is interesting. Maybe
sourpuss, sour face, sourpuss. Sourpuss is kind of a funny name. Like you could have a little quirky cat that looks grumpy all the time.
Yeah.
Sourpuss.
I mean,
vinegar.
even just sourpuss is like would be a wild name for a vinegar. That's funny to talk about. Like, or like, what are other words you would use to describe how vinegar tastes? Like,
yeah, like sweet, acidic, sour, medicinal. It could taste like medicinal a little bit. Let's see what else. Acidic. Yeah, but sourpuss is kind of fun.
That's funny.
It's really
sharp,
surprising.
Harsh, flavored, tart, zesty.
Sorry, just to lock in on that for one more second. It feels like if you were stripping the brand down and just doing kind of funky colors and doing kind of some sort of like really offbeat, simply drawn mascot that could become like iconic and recognizable, a grumpy looking cat. Mm-hmm. And sourpuss being the brand name is really fun. I mean, people love cats.
Sourpuss is amazing. Also, couldn't you imagine? And a lot of vineyards have cats. Like that's sort of like an iconic element of that I could also picture. Instead of seeing the cat itself, you always just saw his tail or her tail winding around a vine. You know what I mean? Like it's like, or like turning up because it's like mischievous and we don't have to like Garfieldify it or whatever. You're just sort of seeing the elements or there's footprints or something. Sourpuss would be funny. That would definitely get.
I think that's got a great energy. Okay, the other thing I just looked up and I like clicked off the screen, so I don't really know what. Oh, here we go. Here it is. It was saying traces of vinegar have been found in Egyptian urns and Babylonian records. So then I was looking at the word Babylonian, and when I looked at it, I tried to break it down, and it reminded me of the word baby lion. even though
Oh, yeah.
I know it's not the same, but like I was like, is Baby Lion kind of just a weird offbeat,
Super wild. Yeah.
like
Okay.
Baby Lion vinegar? I don't know. It just felt like, oh, that's strange and interesting.
Yeah, like if that just had its whole, just like a really goofy backstory, and then you just started to like Baby Lion vinegar. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, so something there. Oh, hold on. I think they were talking about sourpuss in the comments. Someone said that you're describing Garfield, but saying like just paw prints is that's a fun branding element.
You see what someone said? I love Sourpuss. I have all their albums. That's not a real band, is it? Are they joking?
It probably is. I don't know.
I think they're joking. That's funny.
It does sound like it.
No, Sourpuss is a high energy, no nonsense rock and roll band in Albuquerque. In the comments, you need to tell us if you're joking. Either way, it's a very funny thing to say.
No nonsense is a fun way to describe. I don't know if it's this brand, but that's a funny no nonsense. Oh, you know what's funny? If you did the sourpuss, hold on. If you did sourpuss and you had like kind of this grumpy icon or whatever, Garfield, grumpy cat, whatever, something like emblematic of that, or reminiscent of that. It is like no nonsense is a funny because it kind of looks like serious.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Yeah. I've got something that sort of follows that. I was thinking of one of our maybe the very first Can They Brand That experiment we did in Allie. It had to be 2018, right?
Yeah.
I was in my old Chicago apartment, whatever.
Oh yeah, it was a long time ago.
We tried to rebrand French dressing as actually French, and it was like ooh la la and like all that stuff, and we called it, it's not dressing, it's undressing. Undressing would be a fun name for this because it's sort of like before oil and before all the other things. It's just like the most basic element to adding to like sauces or whatever. Undressed. And then undressing or undressed sound like, I feel like then a tagline could be like no nonsense cooking oil or cooking vinegar. And then that made me think of pure, like, and then what if it was called like Puritan or puritanical, and you could then go that like holy, what's that bidet company we saw that's called Saintly, and they did all sorts of like cloud imagery, and you made it be like, this is the most pure essence of vinegar straight from, the crushed grape and yada, yada, yada. And like Puritan or I don't know.
Puritan's funny. It's very subversive in this climate, especially.
Very, very.
Puritan. Because then you definitely would, I mean, you don't take it in the trad wife route. You take it in like a tongue-in-cheek, almost a little heretic. Now you don't have to go hard in the paint, but it's like you can kind of lean into funny imagery, but almost a little.
Yeah, like unblemished vinegar, like untouched, like yada, yada, yada. You'd have to be really overt that
you'd have to be laser sharp too with your like almost like the parody of.
Which then makes me think pious is also interesting. Like could you like crank that up or like, anyway, Puritan is fun. Pious
Puritan is.
It was just like we're, holy vinegar. I don't know.
Vineyard.
Sourpuss is still my number one favorite. Right.
Yeah, I know. I'm really into it. That's my favorite. I think like Vinny feels like it could be in the modernization world, but it almost feels like, I don't know why it feels like it could feel like a ripoff. I don't know why it does. Like in my mind, like Vinny feels like something that would like come out of a venture capital incubator. Like we're gonna call it Vinny, and it's just like the word. But like I does feel
like ChatGPT would have been like, here's what you call it to make it.
Yeah, cute. I know.
Wait, okay. I was thinking of unfermented, and then I thought firm, and then I thought back to the popular girls' names. Fern, Fern.
Oh, Fern's a good one.
Be cute. I mean, it doesn't like.
Telling you that line, Amelia, Fern.
That'd be pretty fun.
It's kind of funny. Remember I told you there's a brand of it's a beverage brand. I think it's called it's either called Mother or Mommy or something. It's alcoholic seltzers. I think it is. And it's got different mom names. So there's like Nancy, Linda. And I bought my mom the Nancy. My mom's name is Nancy. The Nancy cans. It is a funny shtick to go, could you take this thing and like apply cutesy names to it or something that are like, they're kind of all popular right now. Fern is another name that's kind of popular. Remember I went through a whole phase where I wanted to name my second daughter, which I still don't hate. And I don't know why. I'm just going to say it because I'm never going to have another kid, like Fauna. Because I was like, Farah and Fauna sound good together. And I felt like I think I am like delusional right now. Like, I don't know if I trust myself. I was like, I don't trust my own judgment. I just, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. We were worried that it was going to make people think that Farrah's name was Flora. Like combined it, like
because it's the
Farrah and Fauna instead of
Sleeping
Flora
Beauty
and Fauna,
Fairies. I know.
Like, that it's close. Yeah.
Because that's why it sounded good, because Flora and Fauna are two of the fairies, and then Farrah and Fauna sounded good. I was like, it just sonically sounds good to me. I don't actually know if I like the name.
Fauna is just iconic because it's plants and flowers. Like that.
Exactly.
Sleeping Beauty people got it from that. So it's like people are used to hearing that on 1,000 levels.
I know. And that was like one of the names I did have to run by you. I was like, I don't trust my own judgment right now.
And I'm of the mindset that like, if somebody is running something that precious by me, unless I see like a danger, I'm going to be like, you should name your child whatever you want to name, unless there's like, you know, scarlet fever.
Yeah, I know. The one name I had to let go of. Don't depress me. Okay, so
someone in the comments is saying Mother's Ruin. That's a bar here. Are you in Nashville? But like it's such a good name.
Mother's Ruin is a really good name. Mother.
Oh, maybe are they saying Mother's Ruin is the name of the brand? Is that not?
I don't know. Is it? Maybe it is.
I don't know. Okay, Fern. Okay, I think Sourpuss. Let's see. What do we have left? We only have 4 minutes. I think we should. We don't have to land, but like Sourpuss would be my favorite with a very like grumpy tone. But I want to talk really briefly about I guess this would work more with Vinny if you were like, this is vinegar for the people, or if you wanted to introduce it to like a younger generation who wasn't comfortable with like, if we're trying to encourage people to like make their own dressings or like experiment with cooking right out of college. If Vinny was in a spray bottle, like I'm just trying to think of like if Graza took it out of like the aluminum tin and the tinted glass are like what experts say olive oil should be in. And they were like, I don't care. We're making it in a squeeze bottle because people squeeze it. It'll be easier. It'll be cooler. It'll be more distinct. Do we, instead of out of a dropper, are we making it, and then is it called spritz, which like, or Vinny, I think I could see Vinny in a small spritzy, or I guess it could spritz like this, but I keep picturing like a literal,
I picture it like small, a Febreze, like a bathroom spray,
like that would catch attention.
Okay, hold on. I think there's you said something. Okay, go ahead.
Well, really quick, Sourpuss, because when the cats are bad, you spray them with water.
You do. Hold on, that works too. Put a pin in that.
Sorry, go.
With Vinny, you said something that like vinegar for the people, vinegar for the everyman, like that is an interesting, not that like vinegar is elevated, but I do think that to me, this is like just like a very biased perspective, but like vinegar and oil to me is like the most beautiful, just simple salad. And it feels like simple elegance, simple quality, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm deranged, and I'm Italian, so I'm biased. But anyway, I like there is something about like almost like instead of like dumping ranch on your salad like a caveman or a Neanderthal, like it's almost like this. We're like
it's like there'd be campaigns of like nature already made you the best salad dressing, which then I think a little could go into the undressing of it, of like, or Puritan, where you're like, you don't need. I think that's a pretty dangerous place to be given the current climate of things.
Yeah,
of like,
well,
let's go back to the 1700s. Like we don't need to do that.
You really wouldn't want it to get co-opted by the wrong people or the wrong interpretation.
But now that you say vinegar and oil and like that they clash, there's something interesting there. I mean, obviously we're just making vinegar, but I think a spray bottle, I'm trying to think of, I don't know what else it could be.
Lyndsay, is there any, vinegar and oil are like, not nemesis, like nemesis, partner in crime, common enemy.
Yeah.
Like, is there anything in that world about like you're forced to work together against your better judgment? Like that idea, like what's emblematic of that?
Because I guess in almost all ways, you are going to combine some, for sure for dressings, you're going to combine an oil with it. But like in recipes, like, is there a thing of like, could we make it be like moonlight? Like something of it's like, it's so good, it could stand on its own. So like, I don't need that. Or like, what's it called when someone breaks off from the like dissenter? Like that's wrong. But like Yoko.
What is Harry Styles? Like a solo act or
yeah. That's what I was thinking of, like moonlighting, but not moonlighting, of like
like, you know how we like the name of those sisters, their favorite daughter is the name of their brand.
Oh yeah. Aaron and
like
the
better,
Fosters.
like the Foster sisters.
Yeah.
I want to say something like not better brother, because that's like a rip of that, but like better man or better, like something implying like we are the better of the dressing dude, like without having to say it, right? It's just like there's something, a common enemy, or like, but also like what's like olive oil isn't as good without vinegar. Let's just pretend that that's the narrative. And it's like you're calling it like the ringer, or like what's a thing that you bring in that's gonna like the dark horse, the ringer, the
pinch hitters. Isn't that a baseball thing?
Yeah, like something you bring into like succeed or like achieve victory, like something that makes it better. Like this is our secret weapon, or
I'm also thinking of like understudy, yada yada yada, but like I think soloist is could be a cool
Solo's
name.
funny.
Let me see what synonyms for pinch hitter: substitute, understudy, stand-in. I know what you're saying though. You're saying like the like we're gonna bring in the heat,
ringer,
sort of.
Like a ringer, like a
Oh no, the timer's off. Let's do 5 more minutes.
No, maybe I'm not even using ringer.
Yeah, I guess that's not coming up.
A dead ringer, a ringer. Yeah, why am I thinking of it as like you bring it in, you tag
it in? You can like ace up your sleeve.
Yeah, like that idea. Maybe I'm not
that person.
The Han Solo, if you will.
Dark Horse is nice.
That's a fun. Especially it's like
we have been trying to make horse happen. Remember, workhorse. Show pony. Show pony. We could use show pony for this to just be like it's the. Yeah, show pony would be fun.
Hold on. I have another idea that maybe is like the Puritan idea without so much of that puritanical language or visuals, or is even like. So vinegar has a really, really, really long shelf life. It almost like doesn't go bad depending on the kind. I mean, of course, I'm sure there's nuance there, but like, is there something with like eternal, forever, like something that's like emblematic of like living forever?
Yeah.
Like
Eternal. Yeah.
Eternal. Like none of those names
I know,
because to me, but like
I know I was thinking about like the barrel aged, and barrel is not sexy.
And timeless, immortal. Immortal is like the kind of the most meaty or interesting name of those like synonyms, right? Oh, deathless. Deathless is that's like.
Are you saying list or LESS?
Deathless, like LESS.
Oh yeah. Like
tough
a
off
cool
the tongue,
way to say
though.
Eternal. Yeah.
Oh my God! Over here we're getting facts in the comments. Vinegar lasts longer than plutonium. Holy!
You're saying I got to throw my plutonium out? I haven't checked that label.
You checked it. Well, you should check it. Check that in your fire extinguishers and your smoke alarms.
Folks, this has been your friendly PSA. Don't worry about your vinegars. Check your plutonium, your fire extinguishers.
Perennial. That's like it comes back every year,
really
but like
floral and stuff. Yeah. Perennial. Okay, we got to go into mascots.
We didn't do any taglines, really. It's okay.
Well, I mean, I think the whole thing was still trying to find like what's the angle, what's the position. So I think that. I mean, we did the Puritan if it was going to be like, and we did undressing and no nonsense. I mean, for sourpuss.
Here,
yeah, I don't know. It may come down to a tone thing there of like it just being like antagonistic for fun.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's my inclination for sourpuss or just something in general tonally feels like it's like vinegar you can not eat, but like trust or I don't know.
Like this is not the right language, but it's like vinegar with big feelings. Like not that's not it, but it's like it's just something with like a little funny two-hander punch at the end, but it's like very simple.
Like big taste, bad attitude. There's something about that, or like sourpuss. It's like we leave a bitter taste in your mouth. Like there's just fun, or like
this vinegar
acidic where it counts. There's like
this vinegar
taste.
This vinegar likes you. This vinegar hates you.
Shut up and something. Shut up and eat, or shut up and cook. I don't know.
Yeah, like there's language in that voice that's like cranky.
There's another fun structure. It's like tart, funky, and a little bit blah blah blah. Like, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
like something Vinny. And then I think the Vinny route was going to be like vinegar for everyone, or like yeah. Stop
enjoy more than, hold on, like enjoy more than we, like, I want to make a comparison, be like, enjoy this more than we're enjoying ourselves. Like, not that, but like enjoy, someone has to enjoy this, or
oh yeah, like someone has to be having a good time, like
kind of that.
Enjoy yourself. We can't. Or like,
like something like that.
Wait, the hold on, I just thought of something.
Oh, shoot. Someone said my cousin Vinegar. It's just stupid. That's funny. That's stupid.
Oh, I just had one for Vinny and now I lost it.
My cousin Vinegar.
Wait, you could also do like, we're having a grape time. Like you use grape. You could be like, cook, undress. It was kiss the cook. Oh, it was like the very, if we were going to like launch this purposefully, like tapping into trends, like they're still like, let them cook, or like they totally cooked, or like they totally ate with this. Like, if it was like Vinny and trying to encourage people to cook with like real ingredients. Yeah. Real ingredients, bad attitude. That's sourpuss.
Yeah. Those people are making silly comments.
Don't drop this acid.
Don't drop this acid. It's funny. Yeah. Well, that would go well with, what was one of the ones that we said that it's like acid or blah, you know?
Yeah, acid was one of the ideas, and like rage,
yeah,
and common enemy. Like those all sound like rock bands.
Yeah. No one, no takers on Baby Lion.
Weird. Not when sourpuss is available. That basically is a Baby Lion.
Baby Lion just feels like, what are we doing?
It sounds like when you're like trying to describe like what the tattoo you got when you were 18 means. Like you're like, oh, this it means baby lion.
It means baby lion.
They told me it means I'm fierce, but I'm soft. You're like, babe, that's a traditional symbol for
that
prosperity.
Means open for business.
Something different.
Okay. Should we do Mascot o'clock?
Yeah, do Mascot o'clock.
Yeah. Okay. Even though we kind of already
we sort of did it. But we'll do it. I want to hear the song.
I know, at a minimum. You ready?
Yeah.
Mascot o'clock.
Okay. I mean, we've kind of talked through it a little bit, just without meaning to. Just it kind of works alongside the names, but obviously some sort of disgruntled cat. Cat's tail,
cat paw,
something like that. Or you know what I pictured too is it being like a menace, and it's kind of like knocking, like imagine like the website, like it's knocking over the bottles. It's like a grumpy, but also a bit of a menace. Like it's,
you know what would be great is that like we could do a whole backstory of like that's why it comes in a spray bottle, because sourpuss kept knocking over the other bottles and they were spilling, and this one like cannot be spilled. Spill proof.
Well, it's like the only one they're afraid of. Like that's a funny.
Yeah, like the one they won't like.
I'm like so locked in on sourpuss. I just think that the spray bottle works so well. It does work well with Vinny too. So like it's weird how those two angles do feel like they can embody carry the weight of the new design in very interesting ways. Like there's a good narrative for both.
I mean, obviously, if it was show pony or dark horse, that'd be that. Like sometimes the mascot, if the name obviously has an animal or an object that feels really, central to the idea, the mascot is part of the logo. But a lot of times, like our mascots aren't in our logo at all. So like, I think maybe we could try to think outside of, I guess like perennial deathless, do any of those. Pious Puritan. It'd be interesting to have like, Angel and Devil. We've done that for something before, but they're not on the bottle, but they're just the mascots that are like telling you, and they're like, buy Kraft Ranch, and they're like, make the dressing yourself. Like they're like,
Lyndsay, is there any, sorry, go ahead. I have an idea.
No, you go. I was just going to say like oil. Could oil be the mascot? And it's like trying to make you to be like, you need me. I don't know. I was just trying to think of like a foil, like, or an olive. An olive and a grape, like battling it out because they're like sort of the same size.
It's funny. Picture them in like a medieval like helmet with like a You know, like the plume behind. It's like they have a plume and they have like the
like
face
Roman.
Smith. Yeah, like Roman. Roman. They'd be like Roman knights.
Yeah, that's funny.
I was thinking of the word, or the idea of like the good one, or like the good kind, or like the good condiment, like the good. Like, and I was thinking of a Halo angel, but I was like, what if you stripped it back really simply and you called it like the good something, the good kind, the good one. That I don't like that. That's not.
The name. Oh, the name itself.
Is the
or
name,
the
like,
yeah.
And then an angel or something of that ilk was the good.
Yeah.
Good time. Good.
The good, the bad, the
good gravy. Good gravy is a good name for a pasta brand or a pasta sauce. Because a lot of times, like my family didn't, but some people call it gravy. More East Coasters do.
Yeah.
Good gravy is a funny name.
I mean, I would love to actually, pasta sauce has much more branding but we should think of other pantry staples that could get this treatment.
Mustard?
Because this is very, very fun.
Oh, you know what's another one that's done this is Ayoh Mayo.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's another version of this is like Ayoh. Yeah.
Granted, they are artisanal, so it's like sort of tricky. But it's not just made, like, has anyone just done besides the, like, I guess I was trying to think. Yeah.
I guess they all sort of have like an upgrade of some sort.
That's the premiumization luxury element of, so like,
it's like,
Ayoh's
packaging profile,
great,
flavor profile. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And like Ayoh, Fishwife, these are all great. Oh, it's Hot Girl Pickles is the pickle brand.
Oh, Hot Girl Pickles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? Another one, Smash, reminds me of that. That's that jam.
Oh, I don't know them.
I
thought you were saying that for this.
I'm obsessed. It's Smash jam is like, it's got like chia seeds and, you know, it's got all the nonsense I like. Load me up with more seeds, less sugar, more seeds.
Oh, of course. We buy their they make like really clean little like balls with the jam inside, like snack balls for kids.
Oh, I've never had those. Are they good?
Not really, but like not for an adult, but Dawson thinks they're cool. Like he thinks that's a treat.
Yeah.
Look, Smash snack bites with sunflower butter and strawberry jam bites, and they just have the jam inside.
Oh, I'm gonna get my paws on those.
They're what's it called? Bobby approved. Do you do that?
Oh yeah,
Caleb does that.
I do yucca or yucca.
I don't know.
Yucca's the thing that booze we used to make when we were in college.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I think that's good.
Cute. I just saw a synonym for when we were looking up secret weapon. Flying Start. Flying Start would be a fun name for something.
You know, it'd be fun is like a flying squirrel mascot for Flying Start.
Or like those little sugar dragon or sugar gliders.
Yeah.
But
I think that's actually what I'm thinking of. Sugar glider. Yeah.
I don't know though. Do your girls watch Ice Age yet? Dawson went through a stage because he was into dinosaurs when we watched the Ice Age movie.
Yeah.
there's like two prehistoric squirrels who are in love. But the girl keeps conning him and she's a flying squirrel. So she pushes him off the ledge, sort of like Wile E. Coyote style. And she goes to fly away at the last minute and he goes to try and he doesn't have any, but she saves him. Don't worry.
Okay.
But like, flying, that's what I think of as flying squirrel. Whew, tough.
Flying Start.
Okay. Well, I guess we should quickly do Fun Did or Done-ded.
Okay. One second. Flying Start. You could also just do like a trapeze motif, like circus kind of.
Oh,
like
cute.
Acrobatic. I picture like just kind of a swing, like one of those like
trapeze style thing.
Did you ever do one of those like flying trapeze acrobatic thing in Chicago? I did too. It's like,
of course, like when you were like 25 in Chicago and you were like, okay, here's the starter packet for the year 2009 or 8, and you're moving, you're 24, and they're like, you're gonna get the only apartment you can afford is in Lakeview. You are going to join an intramural kickball, softball, or dodgeball.
Did that
league to meet people, and like, a bar is going to sponsor you, and you guys all go there afterwards. You're going to run 5Ks every time there's a fun
color run. 5K. Did that check
100%. The Shamrock Shuffle, thank you. And then you are going to do some flying trapeze classes up by the lake.
Yeah, I mean it's so.
And if you're me, you're going to accidentally join a cult. But that's
you joined a cult, and I like
Two
think that I
paths
saved you.
diverged into Chicago woods.
I like
I
to
took
think
the
I
one-
saved you because I knew the cult leader and I hopefully extracted you from that
You did
scary
help.
situation.
You
I
did
did
help.
volunteer at your cult and I did Christmas gifts. I did like
yeah,
the Christmas fair or
They
whatever.
really tricked you. They made it seem like they're like, we're all in their 20s and 30s and we're cool and we care about the city and helping others. And then they're like, but you can't be gay and you can't be liberal and like a couple other secret things in our bylaws. And you're like, oh, geez.
Oh yeah, I did not see that coming.
Comments are asking us to play another jingle, which we are about to have for Funded or Done-ded. We don't have it today, but the next and last segment is Funded or Done-ded. And this is when we decide if the idea that we have, the fake brand basically that we have concocted, would get some funding and be made or done-ded. And it would just be like, that was a nice little fever dream. I think this is getting funded.
I think funded.
No question.
I think you could
sourpuss or Vinny.
The same. I
like
think
vinegar
both
for the
could.
people in a spray bottle. And I think in some sort of form like that. And sourpuss.
Yeah.
I think they both are winners. There's a venture capitalist firm that venture capital firm right now that is like, that would make it. They'd be like,
I think so too. What color? Okay, what color do you picture sourpuss? I'm having like a different color palette in my brain.
I've been dreaming in black and white. I don't know. I haven't. What do you got?
I don't know if it's because I might just because I have Graza in my brain. I keep picturing some greens, but like that is too close to Graza.
Yeah.
But I'm picturing like yeah, I don't even know why. Or like plum, kind of like a fun plum color with like maybe like a plum with like some sort of like punchy poppy pink but not pink, but like fuchsia or chartreuse. It could be like a fun contrast.
I can sort of picture the color you're wearing right now, like a dusty maroon, mauve, a dusty plum, and then having some sort of neon thing outside of it, some like greeny chartreuse. It's like sourpuss and big. I keep picturing big bubble letters. That's for sure.
Yes, same.
Sourpuss, and it all like is squishy.
And it kind of feels like hand drawn a little bit, like bubbly and hand drawn. Oh, I do like this palette. Like this palette is like a starter of the line. And then it's like paired with like a real punchy poppy color. So it looks kind of like sleek and sexy.
Which you could sort of do based on flavors because like a lot of it is in that world. The red wine, the balsamic, apple are all like
balsamic. Yeah, like are kind of here.
In that. And then you could have like punchy accents that like indicate what the other one is.
Ooh, likey. Mama like. Okay. I feel good. Funded.
I feel great. Funded across the board. Pew! Okay, well, we will be back next week with another fake brand, real branding. And in the meantime, follow us, like, subscribe, go check out our work. Tell your friends. Tell anybody who's
right now.
Starting.
Go
tell everybody if they are building a brand, launching a business, and they're not using their piggy bank to do it. We would like to talk to them.
We would love to. Thank you so much for everyone playing along. There was a lot of
that was
like
so
really
great.
fun comments.
We have some new people.
I feel like there's
welcome.
some new folks here too. So
new blood.
Welcome to our kingdom.
Yeah.
Our comedic kingdom.
What did we say? If comedy is king, we're the court jesters. We have that on our website. So
yeah, that's a trademark.
Just dancing for 20 minutes.
Dancing for dollars. No we dance for dollars in a different way. Ours is in a clown suit.
We holler for dollars.
We should probably get that only brands going though. I mean, that might be the most lucrative path forward. Anywho, on that note,
we'll see you guys next time.
Peace and love. Bye.